This started at sundown. This is Heaven Sent Bestie report.
You Torah movement people are so crazy, man. You guys have the spirit of error that's given in 1 John 4:6 because you don't keep the commandments yourself. You say you keep the 10 commandments, but you do not. You profane God's holy feast, which is just as bad as doing Christmas, because you do them in a profane land while you're in captivity, in a place where he's not placed his name, and his name has been placed in Jerusalem forever. So you profane his holy Sabbaths. Tobit got shit in his eye for it, for profaning his feast days. Daniel fasted through Passover. I mean, you guys can figure this out, right? And God calls you dumb dog watchmen that cannot bark in Isaiah. And he calls you this because you do not watch, like he told you, or I come on you as a thief in the night. And it's Ezekiel 2, 3, and 33 prophecy. It's also Isaiah 52, 62, 56. All tells you about watching, right? That's Mark 13, which is quoting Ezekiel 2, 3, and 33. This is why you guys cannot figure out that a day starts at dawn, all right? Because we're children of the light, we walk in the light, all right? So small children know the day begins at dawn. Birds know the day begins at dawn. Genesis 1:3 is what you guys always go to, that you completely blown out of proportion. It says, God said, let there be light, and there was light. Daytime, to show his work, right? That light is the creation, Yeshua, right? That's why he said, I am the light. That's the first creation. He worked in the day, right? Then God saw the light, that it was good. God divided the light from darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Day was first, darkness is night. And then the evening and the morning is the first day. This is what you Torah people like to use. And the evening and the morning was the first day. But he's telling you, I work in the light, all right? I worked in the day. Then the evening transitions to the morning, bam, first day, all right? So that's what it's telling you right there. 2nd Esdras 6 also tells you that he created that light so his work might appear, right? So he's created that light, show his work during the day, then the night, and then the day, okay? That one's the easy one. Matthew 28. When the Messiah died, he was cut off in the midst of the week. He died on the high Sabbath, not the Saturday Sabbath, right? This was during Passover at the Feast of Unleavened Bread. He was taken down from the cross, so he was cut off on a Wednesday. This is Daniel 9:26 and 27. He was cut off in the midst of the week, and he caused the sacrifice and oblations to cease. That's because the Messiah came to refresh the Holy Covenant and end the sacrificial law. So when Mary came to the tomb, after she came honoring the Sabbath, she came and at the beginning of the day, Sunday, right? When the Sabbath ended. The Sabbath ended Saturday night. She came on Sunday, and the angel rebuked her, saying, what are you doing here, Mary? He already rose 3 days and 3 nights in the grave, remember? You should have known this. So she came on Sunday to anoint the body because she couldn't do it on the Sabbath day. It's pretty simple. And if you look at every parallel gospel of that same thing, it each tells you a different version of that the day starts in dawn. 2 Peter 1:9, here's some prophecy for you. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. Okay? You guys don't do the work. He tells you that if you do not love your neighbor, you are convinced of the law as a transgressor, right? And if you break the Sabbath, well, you're breaking all the 10 commandments, right? So there's that. That's why you don't have the spirit of truth. John 14, spirit of truth, the second comforter that's given unto those that keep the commandments. That's why the world can't receive it, because the world knoweth him not. How do you know God? Well, 1 John 2:3 tells you, if you say you know God and keep not his commandments, you're a liar and there's no truth in you, referencing the spirit of truth in John 14. All right, see how it's circular? And if you don't have the spirit of truth, guess what you get? The spirit of error. Then you turn into a Torah. 1 Samuel 19. And Saul sought to smite David, even to the wall with the javelin, but he slipped away out of Saul's presence. And he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night. Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, if thou save not thy life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. He just said in the morning is tomorrow. John 4:7, but God prepared a worm when the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered. Well, in the morning, the next day is in the morning, right? And the gourd withered. Genesis 19:33, and they made their father drink wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, behold, I lay yesternight with my father. All right, at night I lay with my father, but tomorrow in the day, let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. Acts 4:3. And they laid hands on them and put them in hold until the next day, for it was now eventide. So evening is that one day, and then the next day is they let them out. All right, and that was in the day. Acts 28:23. And when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him in his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified the kingdom of God, persuading them concerning Yeshua, both out of the law of Moses and out of the law of prophets, from morning till evening. Right, all day and all night. In the book of Jubilees, chapter 2, and you know that calendar is confounded. So if you do the Feast of Atonement and the Feast of Passover on the wrong day, on the wrong calendar, Enoch tells you this, Jubilees tells you this, that, you know, you're in big trouble there, right? So you can't do that. You can't do God's feasts. In the book of Jubilees, chapter 2, verse 9, it says, God appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days, and for Sabbaths, and for months, and for feasts, and for years, and for Sabbaths of years, and for Jubilees, and for all seasons of the years. And let me add this to you. God gave you an example, right, in Exodus 16 of what the Sabbath is. They collected all that bread, and they got meat at night, and it was rotten by the morning, so they had to collect the next day. They collected during the day. They had to cook their food during the day. They got to eat it. They had meat at night, right? The next day, it was rotten, stank, and had worms on it, right? On Friday during the day, they had to collect double portions. On Saturday, it didn't rain down day or night, so they didn't get more until the Sunday. So they collected double portions on Friday for Saturday. So they didn't get no meat at night or nothing. That's why they had to collect double portions. So in the book of John, chapter 11, verse 9, Yeshua says, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walks in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walks in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. Yep, that's in the day, right? 12 hours. And it came to pass on the seventh day, or Joshua 6:15, that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times, right? And then came the woman in the dawning of the day, this is Judges 19, and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was, till it was light. The dawning of the day, all right? The day dawns until the light comes up, all right? So when the sun starts coming up, that's when the day starts. The day starts at dawn. Job 3:9, let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day. Well, the day dawned. When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise and the night be gone? And I am full of tossings to and fro unto the dawning of the day. All right? So, Mark 1:35. And in the morning, rising up great, while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed. All right? The day is at dawn. I could keep going on forever and ever. All right? It just keeps on going. There's many more verses. You got Amos 5:8, Isaiah 38:13. I collected all these just for you. Leviticus 6. All right? They offered 1 lamb in the morning and 1 lamb at night. All right? That was the end of the day. They didn't start at night and not start offering lambs, and then the morning they offered the second lamb. He was told the start of the day, offer 1 lamb, second one. Leviticus 7, Judges 16. You need to go read all these ones, because if you break the Sabbath, right, you break all the 10 commandments. That's why you have the spirit of error. This is why you Torah people do not understand what you need to do, because you love the preeminence of men. You love to be worshipped by other people and be in your little Torah communities so you can all lie to each other, and you can have build up your little tents and do all your tabernacles when you're supposed to build it by your hands, and so many other things that you guys break about doing God's feast, right? You're on a confounded calendar. The feasts were taken away from you because we're in captivity. You're in a time in lamentation, mourning, and woe. You're supposed to become a watchman and love your neighbor and tell them that the sword is coming, because Satan is being cast down over Ephraim like a flood. And the flood is going to beat upon your house, and great is the fall of your house. So you need to understand. So you need to trace Mark 13 to Ezekiel 2:3 and 33, and you need to understand about the Beatitudes, because the Beatitudes is a step-by-step process of those that are doing the work, because you will not enter the kingdom and you will go into great tribulation, right? You think you love God. You guys try to bring back Paleo-Hebrew when Zephaniah 3:9 says that he will restore the pure language to us, right? So you guys just make up words. You make up your own Hebrew to try to sound smart, like Yahuwah and Yahusha. There's no proof that there's a Yahoo, Husha, any of that stuff inside the Paleo-Hebrew. Nobody knows what the Paleo-Hebrew is, and you can't try to bring it back, because he'll restore that. That was also taken away as a punishment, right? So you guys defy God when you do this. So I actually hope you hear these words so you can, come out of these lies of this little Torah movement.